Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is Salamancer once again, and I apologize for spamming your inbox. If you are subscribed to me, if you're not, you can just leave. I'm kidding. I'm offering you a service. And that service today is all about STV demos and how to shoutcast them. So we're talking about Team Fortress 2 shoutcasting. Of course, if you are looking to shoutcast something else like StarCraft, League of Legends, whatever, I have no clue how you're going to get your replays. I'm pretty sure that if you Google StarCraft replay or LOL replay, you'll probably find something. I think. Right? So today, step one is going to be make sure you go exercise while you've got a bum leg. And then when you get back, grab some Tylenol, maybe some alcohol along with it. That's not bad for you, right? Anyway, step two is going to be to actually find the game you want to shoutcast. Now, I have the ESEA League website up right now. There are a couple of other places that we can go. But the ESEA website has STV demos. If you go to League, and then this is actually schedule and results, you have to make sure that you have TF2 selected. There should be like a drop down somewhere. Oh yeah, there it is, TF2. So you want to make sure that's selected because there's all kinds of games, right? CS, CSGO. They've got new League of Legends now, but all divisions you could actually, there is no main. So if you select main, you're never going to find anything. But all divisions, you know, you can just go find some random stuff. Now I am on the current day. That's the December 10th as I am recording this. And so you see there are some live STVs. Well, games are being played right now. We could actually copy that address if we wanted to. And then we could open up TF2 and paste it into the console. So let's do that. And here you are once again at the screen. Now, there's a couple things you want to do before you get to this point, but I'm just going to go ahead and show you what it looks like to get into the game. You want to make sure you've got the address on your clipboard. I am like belching up a storm here, but you can't hear it. Trying to keep it down. I'm gonna go ahead and connect to that server. Just go ahead and Control-V it, and here we go. And would you look at that? We are in-game, people hating blueberries, all kinds of stuff. There's a couple things I want to go over here about the in-game commands while we're at it. But there's a lot of stuff you can do. And of course, I've got the HUD over on the right-hand side. You see that things look a little bit different than default TF2. The HUD is available for download on my channel. And what you want to do with that, well, I'll go into that later. I'll show you how to download the HUD later so you can get prepared for the actual casting. I realize this is going to be out of chronological order and you're just going to hate me for it. But since we're in game already, we may as well talk a little bit about what to do once you're here. So we'll go over camera in just a second, but first we are, oh, is that 7? That is the singer of, what is it, the Forever in Open anthem. I highly recommend that you listen to that if you haven't already. I'll probably put the link in the description if I can remember that, but oh, my toe hurts. Oh. Okay, at any rate, thing number one that you want to make sure you do is unless you are the kind of person who just enjoys being trolled, make sure you turn off all of the chat. So there's two commands that you need to do in Team Fortress 2 to do that. First is TV_no chat. 1. Now that just means STV actually means you'll never see STV chat. So if I type something in here, this is STV chat because I am watching an STV server. I don't see that. It does not appear for me. However, ESEA servers are a little bit weird, and what we're actually seeing here is server chat, and the STV doesn't relay that as STV chat for some reason. So what we have to do, not that. What we have to do now is we have to use a different command, HUD say text time, and there's a couple different ways you can do this, but I always just put it down to 0 because that makes it so you will never again see any chat until you restart TF2, unless you put it in your auto config, in which case, well, good for you, you'll never see chat ever. And then the other thing is that you want to make sure you turn voice off. Now, normally these guys use their own voice servers, and so you're not going to have to worry about it too much, but yeah, just disable voice in game, apply, okay, you're done. And that way, you will never be overridden, I guess, by the people who are playing the game when they when they shout at each other over the voice comms and whatever else. It's useful, and it's very important to make sure it's part of your routine or that it's part of your auto config, so you never have problems and you never appear unprofessional. Because appearing unprofessional makes people complain. Believe me, I am the least professional person on the planet, but I still occasionally get someone who thinks that I ought to be professional about it, I guess, and they're just like, this is so unprofessional. Salamancer, you're the worst. Okay, well, whatever, dude. Anyway, now that we have gotten a lot of that stuff out of the way, and of course you have your beautiful HUD, which we will go into later, let's talk a little bit about the basics of TF2 camera work. TF2 camera work is just a bit of an art. And some of it's going to come from having either just a lot of experience playing or a lot of experience casting these games. you've got to kind of have a feel for where the action is going to be. Because if you don't, things aren't going to go very well for you. Now, right now, of course, they're warming up. They don't really have any, they don't even have any medics except for Kess or Case. Let's find that guy. But if in doubt, you can just watch the medic's first-person POV. And if you don't have good habits, but you really want to make a good product, first-person POV is the way to go. You want to make sure that you're never going third-person, because what you'll do is you'll start doing stuff like this. This is not good. You don't want to be moving the camera around. So, with that said, if you do want to make a nice-looking third-person camera, here's a couple of tips that I have found. First off, your sensitivity is too high. I'm telling you that right now. I've looked at your sensitivity. I walked by your house, and my friend, it is too high. I'm going to dial it down to 1.5. And this is going to do something for me. That's going to make it go from these kind of movements, which are very, very jerky, you know, high sensitivity type movements, to these type of movements, which are very, very nice and slow. They make it so that you will basically never cause your camera to jerk around. It's a nice thing to do. I will show you. Now, I actually kind of want to shoutcast this game, so I'm going to try to hurry this up. But you will notice that now I've got such a long distance to move my mouse, it's almost impossible to make jerky movements. Really, really tough for me to do that. So that helps me smooth things out a little bit. You got to be careful about moving the mouse around too much. You really don't want to move, I'm sorry, the camera too much. Moving the mouse can be okay, but typically a static camera is what you want. So let's go ahead and find somebody to watch. Find this guy. Watch Starry. And I have actually, I have bound move up and move down to Q and E. You can bound them to whatever you want. People, I guess, think I'm weird for binding Q and E, but you can have them bind to whatever you want. Typically, if I'm in first person like this, I want to go to third person. I'm just like, okay, well, this guy's in a decent position to go third person, so I'm just going to go click, click, and move straight up. And that gives you kind of a bird's eye view of the action. You don't have to move the camera around a lot. You can see what's happening from up here, and you notice the only thing I am moving is my mouse. I am not touching that keyboard. Touching the keyboard can be a very, very bad thing. Plus, you want to make sure it looks professional. You don't want people noticing the camera. You just want people noticing the action. And that means the camera has to pan very smoothly. And you want to make sure you keep the action generally around the center. Hint, you know, if, oops, didn't mean to do that. If you have to move the camera too much, and you have to move the mouse too much, you probably don't have the right camera angle. So, that's generally how you want to handle the camera. And let me think. I guess I have to go over the... Well, HUD installation isn't too hard. I'm sure you can figure it out. But basically, you can just download my current version of the HUD on my channel. Of course, STV, by this point, actually has a different version of the HUD. But, you know, I'm about to shoutcast this game, so I'm going to go ahead and let you guys enjoy yourselves. I'm going to enjoy myself with some intermediate TF2.